There it is. That's how you know a below the surface episode is started. I feel like I've done the last few episodes sober, like not drinking anything, and I don't know if the people listening to it appreciate the sound of a beer opening to start the podcast, but it does just kind of feel right while you're sitting here recording it. We're back. 21st below the surface episode, 44th maybe episode total. I'm not 100% sure. No, 45th episode total. Which, coming up on a fucking year almost here in a few months. Don't know what we're going to do about that. This will be another sports episode. I feel like there's not been a whole lot of crazy political news just over the past week or so. There are little things that pop up here and there, but just not really something that I want to dedicate a whole lot of time talking to. But the NFL offseason has picked up some interesting stuff has happened over the past couple of weeks. Free agency officially starts on Wednesday, 15th. The legal tampering period begins tomorrow, I think. So, we're gonna kind of recap some of the different things that have happened in the offseason so far. Some things that we might see going forward with, A-Rod potentially leaving the Packers, Lamar Jackson, what's going to happen with him. But before we get into all of that, actually, let's just briefly talk about the main event from last night. There were some other good fights on and everything like that, too. Rafael Assunção retired in the prelims, fucking staple of the 135 division for a long time. But the main event, I feel like, is what everybody is talking about from last night. So, let's talk about it because it wasn't exactly a real competitive fight.
No, it was a disappointment by Yan, I will just say. I guess I've really been watching this shit steady since about fucking the end of 2019. And I love watching him fight. I really I don't know if I talked about it on the previous show, but he's like a fucking artist, But he did not look like that. He looked like fucking, it was shit. It was just a fucking disappointment.
Yeah, I know. And I know he's one of your favorite fighters to watch, too. So that fight couldn't have been a whole lot of fun to watch. I've been watching it long enough that I've seen my favorite fighters fucking rise to the top, get beat down, rack up loss after loss. It fucking, it sucks. It sucks. And, it feels like 3 years ago, Petr Yan was at the top of the division, looked like, he was going to be a hard guy to beat. And now we're looking at a guy that's 1-4 in his last 5. Some of those losses were, controversial to say the least, but that kind of just goes to show you how fast somebody could fall, man. I remember people talking about how well-rounded Yan was and how he might be the guy that kind of provided stability to the division and fucking everything like that. And after a night like last night, it's kind of hard to imagine what's next for him. It's hard to imagine what's next for Merab, too. And, don't really want to take away anything from his performance. I mean, he did what he does. He goes in there and he puts on a wrestling clinic. And, that's what he did last night. Shit, 49 takedown attempts in a fight. Broke the record by 16. I believe the previous record was 33. And he had 49 takedown attempts. I think all the judges had it 50-45 or, some, maybe, gave Yan a point more or a point less wherever. But there's not really a clear path forward for either of them. I feel like Merab is, he's going to be the number 1 or number 2 ranked contender at 135. He's not going to fight Sterling. You've got Yan on his 3rd loss. Just kind of a weird time in the bantamweight division. I did see somebody say that a cool fight to put together would be to have Yan fight Davison Figueiredo.
That would be
I think that's interesting. Yeah, because Figueiredo, I think, is going to have some success at 135. He's not too small. He hits hard. He's got power in his hands. I think he'll fit in, pretty well and 135. He's coming off a loss too, So like you got Yan coming off these losses. You got Figgy coming off a loss and moving up. I think those two would be a lot of fun to watch fight.
That's actually a fucking brilliant idea. I bet that gets put together because like who else is there? Who else is in fucking that division that would fight Yan? Like I mean, I think it's not even about who else in the division. I think it's just a fucking good thing for Figueiredo to fucking. It just makes sense, Like all the fucking people at the top of the division beat Yan, so if he can, that just proves that like. It's a good guy, too, coming off the losses to see really where he fucking would rank moving up, and weight.
Yeah. And it would, I feel like it's always kind of difficult for the UFC to figure out what to do with a guy like Figueiredo. Like he's clearly the second best flyweight fighter in the UFC right now, but he's moving up and it's like, you kind of want to give him a tune-up fight, but you also can't give him somebody like he can't fight somebody unranked, or even somebody in the lower 15 would kind of feel off. So I mean, a fight like this, I don't think a loss would really hurt Figueiredo all that much. Like if Yan was to beat him, and then if he was to beat Yan, it would immediately put him right up there in the top 10, maybe top 5 of bantamweight. So I didn't come up with that idea. I did see it on Twitter, but whenever I read it, I was just like, yeah, no, that I feel like that makes a lot of sense. There's a little bit of uncertainty with what's going to happen with Merab too. I mean, he and Sterling have said over and over that they're not going to fight one another. Dana White said the other night that it would be a mistake for Merab and Sterling to continue to like not fight one another. I think maybe he's a little irritated with it. Of course, their training partners, fucking Sterling was in his corner against Yan. I mean, it makes sense. And, the way they were talking last night is that, Sterling is going to fight Henry Cejudo in May, I think May 6th. And then I think Sterling wants to fight Sean O'Malley after that. And he's not booked up. He's currently the number 1 contender. He's not booked against anybody. So maybe they make that fight. And then Sterling wants to move up to 145. Now, that assumes a lot of things. I think him getting past O'Malley is not a stretch of the imagination. I think he would beat O'Malley, but I think maybe he's in court. I mean, he has to do this, right? But he's assuming that he's going to beat Henry Cejudo, and that's not an assumption that I think is a safe one to make. Henry Cejudo is legit.
Who's Sean O'Malley fighting next? Nobody. It didn't look like anybody's.
Yeah,
lined up. Who is he thinking? Is it who's like looking at him?
I think he wants a title shot, and I think Sterling wants to give it to him, but it's just he's got to finish this Henry Cejudo business before he can do anything else. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that fight happen. Again, that's assuming that Sterling beats Cejudo, and I don't know that that's going to happen. It could. Cejudo hasn't fought in 3 years, but, when he did fight, he was the bantamweight champion. He was a, 2-division champion. He was a great fighter. I don't know. I don't know. I would love to see the odds on those two guys fighting one another. I'd love to see what it is. I think it could be a pretty good one, though. Merab also, like if Sterling was to get past those two and then move up to featherweight, then Merab could, finally fight for the title, probably become champion. I mean, after doing what he did to Yan, I kind of have a hard time believing that anyone's going to beat him. I don't know that Sterling would beat him, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe he would, but that wrestling attack is just ruthless. 49 attempts is insane. That is an insane number of takedowns to attempt in a fight. What do you even do? That's like when you're playing, UFC 4, the game, and you're fighting somebody. You're fighting the computer on like the hardest difficulty, and it's like Khabib or DC or somebody like that. And then every 3 seconds they're shooting a takedown. That's what fighting Merab is like in real life.
Is he always like that? How many? I don't know how many of his fights I've watched. I feel like he usually okay. Well, yeah. I guess he's on a fucking 9-fight win streak. He's won 3 fights by knockout and 1 by submission. So I guess he's usually just fucking go the distance.
Yeah.
Does he just wrestle fuck people, or does he fucking, like?
No, pretty much. Yeah, that's kind of his game plan. And now, I mean, he turned it up against Yan, with all those takedowns he did. But that is kind of his move, just to wrestle the fuck out of you. I mean, it works. Obviously, very successful 9-fight win streak. Hasn't lost in 5 years. He's just in a weird spot because he doesn't want to fight Sterling. Like I said, I understand it, but like, man, your time at the top in MMA is so, or it can be, so short. I don't know. I don't know that I would be passing up on a potential title shot to just kind of wait around. I don't know. I don't know what his move is. I mean, I guess it is just to wait around until Sterling moves up, but man, I don't know. You start getting a little older. The up-and-comers start getting a little better. I don't know. Most people are not, most people don't have these extended long title reigns that somebody like GSP or Jones or Silva had. You've really got, you might get one opportunity to be the champ, and you might defend your belt a couple of times, but man, it's just, I don't know. You want to capitalize on that whenever you get the opportunity.
I feel like Merab and Sean O'Malley should happen in like June or August or somewhere around there. Okay, so if they fucking really came up with something quick, that would fucking, because I mean, like, Sean O'Malley jumped from like fucking number 11 to like number 1, like just by beating Yan. Isn't that how he jumped, or was there some fucking gap? Yeah. So like, I mean, you shouldn't just instantly get a title shot because you got a bunch of fucking colorful hair, and like you're excited to watch and you talk a lot of shit. Not that I love that shit, I hope he fucking gets it and I hope he wins it and beats the fuck out of everybody. But like, I feel like putting fucking him against Merab would be the best fucking solution. And then assuming fucking Sterling beats fucking Cejudo, then they fucking schedule like the next fight for fucking sometime around like November, December, a title belt, or another fucking title fight.
Maybe close out the year with a big.
Because Sean O'Malley, last time he fought was fucking October. He doesn't fight like, I don't know. He like twice a year. He's like a twice a year guy. At this pace, he's only going to be fucking. I guess he's more than twice a year. I'm looking at his shit now. No, he throws down. He has
been waiting since October, though. I know what you mean. Like he has been kind of sitting around waiting for a title shot. I also think that, I think Merab would kill him. And I think that's kind of why the UFC, has kind of strayed away from booking Sean against anyone. Because, I mean, he got the split decision over Yan. I know we both watched that fight and thought Petr Yan, won that fight. I feel like most people did, so he barely squeaked by in the Yan fight. So I think the UFC is kind of holding him back because they want to, I think they are kind of saving him for, to fight for the title, whether it's against Sterling or Cejudo or whatever the case is. I mean, the UFC has had a favorable opinion of Sean O'Malley ever since he hopped in and, got all this attention. And I don't hate it. I'm not even saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, that's kind of the reason I feel like we might not see him fight, until he, title shot opens up. I don't know. I think they could also, because Chito Vera and Corey Sandhagen are two top bantamweight guys. They're going to fight later this month in about 2 weeks, I think. And, Chito Vera is the only guy that's beaten Sean O'Malley in MMA, period. Not just the UFC, but ever. So, maybe book those two to fight again. If Chito Vera beats Corey Sandhagen, or, I mean, maybe even if he doesn't. If he did, it would make for a way better story. But, have those two running back. I think that would be interesting. And then that would really solidify, if Sean O'Malley beat Chito Vera, avenged his loss, that would really solidify his case for a title shot, I feel like. So, I mean, that's just another option. I mean, that would also have to take place maybe kind of in the fall, which would maybe mean that Sean doesn't fight for the title until early next year. I don't know. I'm not the UFC matchmaker. They're going to do what they're going to do. There's a lot of fun. Last night there's just been some fun bantamweight fights. Here recently, past couple months, and then it feels like here this next month or couple months we get a whole lot more. So, actually, I think the Sterling and Cejudo fight is going to happen like maybe a week before the year anniversary of this podcast. So we might be talking about that fight on the year anniversary, maybe. Something to look forward to.
Wait, what's today? What's the? Damn, this is gonna be hard to figure out. Do we have the time for this? Fucking math is not my fucking strong subject.
Nah, I don't know exactly when a year is, but I know they're fighting May 6th, and the podcast started like I think maybe like the second week of May, something like that. So, like I said, we might be drinking a little champagne and talking about Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo.
It'll either be fucking. We'll for sure be talking about it whether it has happened or hasn't happened. That's just the only fucking thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm sure we will. We will definitely talk about it at some point. Also, I released my first episode on May 9th. So.
So it's first Monday, second week of May.
Yeah, so it'll be around there. It'll line up fairly decently.
Damn,
I don't know.
Okay,
something to look forward to. There's going to be a lot of great fights in between now and then. So I don't imagine we'll have any shortage of things to talk about. Something that we don't talk about all that often. Well, I mean that we have not really gone into depth any yet is all these NFL transactions that have happened over the past few weeks. I mean, free agency starts on Wednesday, like we said earlier, but there have already been a few interesting moves that have happened. So, we can definitely dive into them. Let's start with two moves that have not happened yet. Aaron Rodgers, my favorite quarterback, the quarterback of my favorite team, the team that I root for.
Will you be rooting for A-Rod if he's a fucking Jet?
I will still be a Packers fan, but I will be rooting for A-Rod just personally. I won't be a Jets fan, but I'll be rooting for A-Rod. I just, whatever. I'll be a little hurt. I can't lie to you. I'll be a little disappointed. Yeah, no, it'll suck. And it sucks, too, because I've been reading, they're expecting A-Rod to make a decision, like, before free agency starts. That's just what I've been hearing. And, we're kind of running out of days in between now and free agency. So I just have this feeling that, like, I'm going to wake up one day or I'm going to be eating lunch or something like that. And I'm going to look down at my phone and it's going to be like, A-Rod's going to the Jets. I'm just going to be like, fuck, man, it's going to ruin my whole day.
It's going to happen, though.
I don't know that it's going to happen. I feel like there's a decent possibility it does. I don't know that it's going to happen.
Are there gambling odds on this kind of shit? I mean, I'm sure there are on some website, but like just your typical FanDuel.
I don't know. I feel there's got to be somewhere. I don't know. I would not be like last season. Last offseason before last season, when they were talking about, is A-Rod going to stay or is he going to go? I always felt like he was going to stay. I didn't really buy into a lot of the hype. I thought he was going to stay with Green Bay. I didn't even really think there was a high possibility he moved anywhere, and he didn't. But this offseason is definitely a little different, he's meeting with Jets guys and, it just is different. It feels different, and I think a lot of people would probably bet, yes, that he does move on from Green Bay, goes to the Jets. I think it's, I don't know. I mean, I feel like at this point it might be a coin flip, something like that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to see it, but it's obvious that like the Jets do want a quarterback other than Zach Wilson. Derek Carr went to the Saints, which we could talk about, a little bit. I mean, that really leaves, like Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers. And I mean, if you're in the market for a new quarterback and you've got the money to make it happen, I would be pursuing those two guys.
Shit. So I was just trying to find the odds here. I have on I don't have anything on FanDuel, but on other shit you can bet on the draft and shit like that. At least on some players. But I know there's websites for this kind of shit. I mean, I don't know.
Hell, there's websites where you can bet on who the fucking presidential nominee is going to be. You have to imagine somebody's got odds on A-Rod going to the Jets somewhere. They exist somewhere, I'm sure.
Is that? I mean, I don't know. Some shit's tricky though, because I guess if you, because if you're A-Rod, could you go bet on that? Or no, probably not. That's probably illegal as fuck. Or somebody who's in the know. I guess that's just trading on insider information, betting. I mean, it's illegal, but I don't know. I guess there's you can bet on fucking anything. I guess there's always a website for something.
Yeah, no, there definitely is. Yeah, I don't know. I won't believe that A-Rod is leaving to go to the Jets until I see some real solid shit. Because before now it's really just been.
He's never had.
There's definitely smoke.
He's never had a team like this that he just was interested in, and the Packers aren't going to want to continue to put up with fucking rebuilding. Do you want to rebuild, or are you going to win a fucking Super Bowl with this old fuck? How many more years has he realistically got? Does he want to do a fucking Brady thing and go try to finish out somewhere fucking warm? I would. That's what I would fucking do if I was A-Rod. Why the fuck would you stay at the Packers?
If we're talking about New York.
No, I wouldn't go to New York.
I'm sure it's warmer than Green Bay, but it still gets pretty cold up there.
I don't think that's the ideal fucking landing spot for him. But so for a guy like that, do you know the rules with the free agency shit? I feel like the ideal place for A-Rod would be fucking the 49ers, but they wouldn't spend that kind of money on a guy like that. But, it's it's where he's from and all that shit. He just fits there. I'm pretty sure hasn't he always wanted to play there, or is that Brady?
No, I know I know he expected to be drafted by them, and he was a 49ers fan growing up. So, of course, they didn't draft him. They drafted Alex Smith instead. A-Rod fell to the Packers, but I don't know. I feel like, I haven't heard anything about, A-Rod going there, but I guess it's not impossible. There's also another LA team that's looking to, or, another California team that's looking to move on from their quarterback, the Rams.
That is also true.
But they're getting rid of everybody. You know what I mean? So, they got rid of fucking Jalen Ramsey and shit.
I guess the question was so when can teams start talking, and is it possible that nothing fucking, because what day does free agency is it wide open?
Yeah, I think it becomes wide open on the 15th, and
15th.
The legal tampering period starts tomorrow, and I forget who all you can talk to in that period. Obviously, A-Rod has already been talking to Jets higher ups. I know that because Lamar was hit with the non-exclusive franchise tag, that teams cannot start talking to him until the 15th, until free agency starts. So, the absolute earliest we could hear anything about Lamar would be the 15th, and it's I feel like it's unlikely that he gets a deal done the same day the free agency opens. But they can't even start talking to him until Wednesday.
I heard people talking about that one. When I say I heard people, I mean I saw some shit on Twitter. Just an interesting idea is that fucking. Well, I don't know. The interesting thing was that they're going to make other people hold up fucking cap space by, him having to I don't know, something about waiting all these days to talk to somebody, or I don't know how that grace period of talking to people goes. You said they can start talking Monday. Well, no, you said they had to wait until Wednesday on Lamar. So
yeah,
I don't know, it kind of holds people up if they were interested in it. But I've also seen a lot of people just straight up are not interested. But, you know, you don't know what... Too. Like, why would you go for it? Like, what is Lamar Jackson offering you that, like, there's several really fucking good young quarterbacks in the draft, you know, that are, like, it's kind of like OBJ asking for $20 million. You know, it's kind of like, I mean, Lamar Jackson's obviously better than Odell, but, like, I mean, different positions or whatever, but, you know, like, he is still a liability. And would you want to take a risk on a guy who's going to want to sign with you for like 4 years at least? I don't know. And just fucking lock something in and then he just gets injured? Like, fuck, you know? It's kind of
No, I mean, I feel like anybody can get injured. I feel like the difference between like Lamar is that like he is capable of playing at like a really, really high level.
But a lot of his game is running, though. That's why his injuries like matter a lot more. It's not like Mahomes tore his fucking ACL. Like he can come back from that real easy. But like it just affects it a lot more when like you just kind of fucking just blow people away with your ability to just run up the fucking middle. You know, your legs matter more.
I mean, I feel like if you're, you know, like if you're in the market for a new quarterback. And you don't have a great draft pick, and you're not really, you know, you can't make any movement there. I feel like it makes sense to go after Lamar. You know, I mean, if you have a high draft pick, you can definitely get one of these young guys coming up. But so you know that you're going to get a great quarterback with Lamar. Like, you know he's going to be great.
Who's even in that position though? At the Jets, and they're looking at A-Rod for whatever the fuck reason.
Yeah, I don't know who has, you know, what all draft pick. I know Chicago traded their first overall to Carolina, and I know Carolina wants to trade it to somebody else. I don't know who exactly is where. I just don't know what's going to happen to him. I don't know how many teams are, you know, both interested in Lamar and have the money that he's going to want. I mean, Daniel Jones just got $40 million a year in what is like $120 million deal, something like that. I mean, if Daniel Jones is worth $40 million, Lamar is going to be.
That's so ignorant. Who the fuck? God damn.
Dude, Daniel Jones is making bank, man. He's making bank. I mean, hats off to him. You know, he said he wanted 45, and he got 40. You know, he's raking in that money. Just to give the Giants some mediocre seasons, you know. I don't even hate the guy. I actually like Daniel Jones. I like watching him play. If he was my quarterback, I'd probably have some concerns. You know, I might not be as nice and friendly. I kind of like the guy though. You know, he's fun to watch. He's decent. He's not bad. He's far from the worst starting quarterback in the league. But $40 million a year?
$40 million, are you high? That's the thing. He's so goddamn much money. That's ridiculous.
That's so much money.
For a guy who just like he just, I don't know, he's just some fucking, I don't know. I mean, Baker said that. Did you ever Baker Mayfield tweeted about him? Just talked all that shit. I don't know. I guess they both have a fucking starting spot. I don't know. The Rams. That's who he's with the Rams now. That's right. Are they gonna Are they gonna ride with Baker or what?
That's what I've been hearing. Of course, I've been hearing it from a lot of unofficial sources, but I've heard it from some decent sources. I've heard people say that, you know, like LA feels like they can work with Baker Mayfield. Like, I mean, I don't know. Is Baker Mayfield going to give you a worse season than you had last year? I mean, I know he started some of those games, but he didn't start like the whole season. You know, like it is. Like, are you going to have more luck with Baker Mayfield than you did Matt Stafford last season? I don't know that you will, but why not give it a shot? You know, they obviously want to move on from Matt Stafford, so I mean,
yeah, he's old as fuck. So I was just looking. I was just doing some looking. How can fucking You know where I think Lamar would be just really appreciated and where he should really fucking look at going is the fucking Titans. They need to move on from Tannehill. How can they get out of that? I think if they could probably
like a massive contract.
Oh, he's fucking. I think this last year he's set to make fucking $36 million.
Damn.
Or against the cap that much. I think he's making like $27 million. I don't know. Wait. I don't know what all these things mean. Fucking total GTD. That's $18 million, and then for his fucking. I don't know. I'm reading shit wrong. Actually, totally, that's wrong. That's not. I'm reading all the wrong numbers. Forget I fucking said any of that. But fucking, he's making a lot of goddamn money. At least $27 million guaranteed, and then fucking some more.
Yeah, so, I remember seeing similar things. Like almost, he's going to cost the Titans almost like somewhere between 30 and 40 million next season, and
it's like it's 15% of their fucking cap space.
Oh, God damn.
And Derrick Henry's at 7% of it.
Yeah. And I do love Derrick Henry. I don't have as much love for Tannehill, but I love Derrick Henry. Tannehill has been something, I feel like there is a good amount of talent on the Titans squad. But these guys are not going to win a Super Bowl. Like Tannehill is not the guy that's going to lead you to a Super Bowl. He's not going to do it. He fucking goddamn. Last time they were in the playoffs, he choked. He threw like 3 picks. He threw the game-sealing pick. He choked. He's not going to be the guy that takes the Titans to a Super Bowl. And we've all seen that graphic by now. Like the salaries of the running backs for the fucking Super Bowl winning teams of the past 10 years, 15 years, whatever it was. They're not getting paid as much money as Derrick Henry's getting paid, and I wouldn't really want to see him go anywhere because I do really love watching the guy play. There's just something about watching him sling grown men around. Like
it's fucking tremendous.
Pro football playing men, he's not slinging me around out there. He's slinging around big fucking football players.
Like,
I love it.
Him and Lamar running some shit together would be a beautiful thing.
That would be so crazy. Like they
need to pick up. Well, part of what makes Lamar so good is old fucking Mark Andrews, just fucking being good as fuck over there. Titans would have to pick up some pieces to fucking give Lamar a fucking reason to go there. But I think they could. I think he'd be appreciated in fucking Nashville. But
I think you would. That running threat would be insane. Whoever's running the ball at you would give you trouble.
Dude, they went nuts when fucking they got Mariota. Imagine having somebody who was actually fucking good.
Hell yeah, they went nuts when they got Mariota. I went nuts when they got Mariota.
Dude, yeah, it was great.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I was an Oregon fan for like that season of college football just because I loved watching Mariota so much.
He was awesome.
Yeah, it's like I'm a Tennessee guy, of course, fucking through everything. But I was definitely watching a little more fucking Oregon football than I was Tennessee football that year. That dude was clearing both lines. He was just jumping over people, running the ball. He was so much fun. And then when he came to Tennessee, I was like, hell yeah, we finally have our guy. And of course, it didn't work out. And he did. I was also excited to see him get the job at Atlanta. I was, not that I thought it would lead anywhere, but I just wanted to see him have a starting role again. And boy, it also did not work out great for Atlanta, but I still do really like the guy. So, like,
who else has he played for?
He was on the Raiders for a second.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if there's been anyone else he played for since joining the league, but I know he was on the Raiders for a hot second. Speaking of the Raiders, I feel like one of the big moves that we haven't even mentioned. We've mentioned some of the other ones, not that we've gone in depth on all of them, but one of the ones that happened a while back that we've not talked about was Derek Carr going to the Saints.
Yeah, fucking, that's all right, I guess. It's a fit. I don't know if it's a perfect fit, but like, I mean, it's good for him. I'm glad they got it figured out. I mean, is Sean Payton, is he still coaching there? Or did they get rid of him? Did they trade him away or some shit like that?
Oh yeah, no, he left. He's going to Denver now. Yeah, he is like currently he will be Denver's head coach this next season. There's another one because I'm sitting here looking at like all the transactions that have happened so far. I had completely forgotten about Sean Payton going to Denver until you said it right there. Yeah, no, he's he's going to go join the mess that is the Denver Broncos.
Why the fuck would, dude? If he can, he's been good with little short quarterbacks in the past, but Russell Wilson is a particular fucking pile of trash.
Yeah. Yeah, this last season was rough. If you're a Denver fan, I'm not a Denver fan.
Broncos country, let's ride. What a fucking loser. Fuck that shit, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sure he'll never hear this, but whatever. Fucking,
no, it's fine. No, he's not listening. He's too busy in his fucking coach's office. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah! Just praying,
ignoring his teammates, not accepting their calls,
taking in some fucking hell yeah, fucking speaking to his like agent. What a fucking or his PR guy. What a piece of fucking shit. Yeah. Just like no, I mean, you're playing football, dude. Like, I don't know. People have talked shit about him in the past. You know, his other teammates. He's got a reputation.
Oh. Yeah, Richard Sherman, now that he's like, he's in broadcasting and all this shit, he's doing podcasting, everything like that. That man loves throwing some shade at Russell Wilson. Other teammates of his, have too. But like Richard Sherman, he's like, he's maybe the most like vocal. He's on TV all the time, everything like that. He's always talking shit about Russell Wilson. Yeah, I mean, because they had a solid squad, there for a while. Won a Super Bowl, went to 2 Super Bowls, everything like that. They had the great defense they had, but now it sounds like it wasn't always as functional a squad as people were kind of led to believe. And now that we've seen what the Broncos look like with Russell Wilson, it's not hard to believe a lot of the stuff that they say about him. It kind of fits in with what we've seen over this past season. But, Sean Payton is not the worst coach that they could grab. Like if anyone – no, do what?
He is – goddamn. He is fucking good. Cortland Sutton said he's some shit about him wanting to fucking leave. God damn, I tried to fucking hit the mute button. Fuck you. If anybody's made it fucking this far into the podcast, my bad, guys. God. Shit.
Yeah. No, I'm not surprised to hear that Cortland Sutton wants out. I mean, I would imagine that a lot of, because he's a pretty young guy, right? Like he's in his 20s. He's
supposed to be fucking good as fuck, but like he hasn't. I mean, he's a trash quarterback, and he's been, I don't know. Obviously, the coaching shit hasn't worked out with him, whoever the fuck, I don't know. I mean, receivers are like, you could be the best receiver ever and fucking never be in a fucking system that works for you and just not work, But you can be a guy like fucking Julian Edelman, who like probably, I mean, he was good as fuck, but would he fit on just any other team? Probably a lot of them, but There's good coaches out there. I don't know. There's coaches that when they go places, like, the quarterbacks are fucking good. Like fucking Andy Reid, Wherever the fuck he goes, there's good quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah. And, Cortland Sutton is a guy that we've seen play really well. Like, he had a season a couple years ago where he went over 1,000 yards, and it's like his second or third season in the league, something like that. Like, he is capable of being a very good quarterback, but it just it kind of seems like the situation with Russ just isn't really going to work out for him. I was going to say earlier, I mean, Sean Payton, I mean, he's about as good of a guy as you can get. If anyone can save that team from just having another season like they had last year, I mean, it's probably him. And if he can't do it, then boy, Denver fans are in for some long years. I'm glad I'm not a Denver fan. But I mean, I am a Packers fan who's maybe about to lose our star quarterback, so I don't know how good I have it.
I mean, would you rather have Russell Wilson, or would you rather have fucking Jordan Love? You know,
I'd honestly, I've done it, just us talking off the podcast in the past, talk because there's Packer fans that are like sold on Jordan Love. They're like, we want him to be the guy. We think he's the future, and I'm like, what the fuck are y'all basing this on? It's like, I don't even dislike the guy, but I'm just saying, like, what we've seen from him so far, he's not looked that fucking impressive. Maybe he gets the starting gig next season and he fucking turns out, and he's really something. And that's all, that's all good and fine. But like, there are just people that are so confident despite us seeing so little of his ability. And the little bit that we have seen does not lead me to believe that he's better than A-Rod. But that being said, to answer your question, I would rather take a chance on Jordan Love than I would Russell Wilson at this point. No question. Yeah, I'll roll the dice on Jordan Love. Might not have a choice. Might have to roll the dice on him anyway. And, if he does become the starting guy, I will fucking, I'll be behind him 100% as a loyal Packers fan. I'll have no choice.
I got a fucking question. I haven't really ever thought about this, but, like, how many of, like, the most successful quarterbacks play on multiple teams? Like, how many quarterbacks, I guess, on average get to the Super Bowl with the team that drafted them? Like, versus teams that don't draft, like, have a guy come in.
That is interesting.
Because, like, I don't know. Because, I mean, Brady is an exception. I mean, Tom Brady is one of them. And then fucking, what's his name? Joe Montana. I don't know if he made it to. Did he win a Super Bowl with the fucking, who did he go to? He went from fucking.
Yeah. No, he definitely won one. I feel like it definitely does happen. There are some notable exceptions, though. Well, I mean, we've been talking about the Saints for a minute, but Drew Brees is an example of a guy that, played for a team, then went and fucking played for somebody else and won a Super Bowl with them. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how common it is to win a Super Bowl with the team that drafts you.
I mean, if you just think of people who have been in it recently, goddamn, I have some weird feedback in my headphones. I don't know if you're getting that, but
no, I can't hear it.
All right, fuck it. Then that's all good. Let me see. I don't know. If you just think about people who have been there recently, they're usually... I mean, Drew Brees was briefly on the Chargers. He's also somebody who, like that doesn't happen all that often, just a quarterback just fucking not stay.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of quarterbacks do try to make it work with the team that they have, and then it just kind of, becomes apparent that it's not going to happen with that team. They get out of their rookie contract, and they're like, all right, let me try to move somewhere else. I don't know. I mean, well, you talk about guys that have done it recently, but like Matt Stafford, was on the lines forever, and then his first season with the Rams, it gets him a ring. All he needed was a change of teams.
He's a good example too. Yeah, I guess he is really recent too. I mean, I don't know. I guess it just depends on the guy. I mean, Russell Wilson is just a guy who, is it more likely that they fucking change teams? But I guess if you change teams, you're probably, there's probably a reason you're fucking changing teams. Like, you're not either, if it's the case where the team sucks and you're actually good, I guess you could fucking win a Super Bowl. But, there's a lot of other guys that, Russell Wilson, he's the guy who fucking... Did he win a Super Bowl or no?
Oh, yeah.
He did. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Wait, did he?
I think he did.
Hold on.
Yeah, because Richard Sherman. Wait.
And then... Oh, yeah, he did. They, he fucking... they beat the damn... They beat the Broncos.
That's right.
They beat the dog shit out of them. Percy Harvin had the kickoff at, coming back from the half and shit.
That's right.
I don't know.
No,
I get so much shit just mixed up in my fucking head thinking about, years past. I've watched a fair amount of football,
I guess we also, we're just kind of fucking. If we had looked up beforehand, what we were going to talk about, but we were just kind of firing this one off the dome. But
I've also had a couple of drinks, and it's 10 p.m. where we are now. Fucking, can thank daylight savings time for all that.
Damn, that shit does suck. Yeah.
Woke up confused as a motherfucker this morning. Oh my fuck! I feel like every single clock I had said something different. I was confused. I was tired. I was like, "What is happening?"
I was pissed. It was like, fucking. It was just miserable. No, I was just like, I was very disappointed. I was like, damn, I slept like shit. It took quite a while checking the clocks back and forth, just being confused as a motherfucker. I hadn't even thought about it. I heard it mentioned briefly, like this fucking Sunday, but in one ear and out the other, like I was not prepared for it at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I wasn't either. Yeah, I kept glancing over at my fucking stove and the clock on it, and I was like, God damn, is that really what time it is? And of course, the stove's wrong because I didn't change it. What, And then, shit like your phone, laptop, it all changes by itself. I don't know, just a confusing time. Just as we kind of wrap it up, did want to mention one thing kind of towards the end here. I mentioned it last week, but my car has been in the shop for a minute now. Transmission issues, fucking, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. Yeah, yada, yada, all that kind of stuff. But it has given me some time to sit on my ass and play a lot of video games. Not that I wasn't doing that anyway, but I'm definitely playing, more now than I was before my car went in the shop. And, it kind of just got me thinking, I think it would be an interesting idea to stream because I've always liked video games. I've always played them, from a kid to now, I've always enjoyed playing them. I'm not great, at a lot of the games that I play. I'm good at some, but, and it's something that people have been able to like use to grow their brand or, there are obviously people that have made a lot of money doing it and everything like that. I think that, streaming might be an interesting way to just connect with fans and kind of expand the fan base that the podcast has, which is really funny because I've never really been interested in like watching, people play video games, whether it's like a YouTube video or streaming on Twitch or anything like that. It's never really been an interest of mine. In fact, kind of the opposite. I've kind of always made fun of those people. It just seems kind of, I don't know. I always thought it was kind of odd to, to sit around and watch people play video games. But I do think it would give me an interesting opportunity to connect with more fans and just kind of connect through a different medium. Because we talk about sports and politics, and those are obviously two big interests of mine. But like I said, I've also been playing video games pretty much ever since I could figure out how to. And sitting around playing video games for the past week and a half, whatever it's been, has just kind of made me start thinking about that a little bit more. I started playing Skyrim again for the first time in a long time. Been playing some Rocket League. We've been playing some Rocket League because it's cross-platform. We have two different consoles, but Rocket League is one of the few things that we can actually play together. Played a little bit of the Battlefield 2042 that's out. Of course, I've always been a big fan of like Madden and 2K and the UFC games and everything like that. Those are, all of these things that I've said are pretty popular games that I feel like a lot of people, our age or younger, have played. So, and you can stream like right from your console, which is something that I had never really looked into before I started thinking about this. So, it would be a very easy thing to do. Maybe, set aside an evening during the week or, I don't know, maybe a Friday or whatever it is, and just stream a little bit. Where maybe let people vote on what game they want to see, or I could make an account that people could add me on and play with me while I stream and everything like that. And of course, while you're streaming, you can see the chat and interact with fans and everything. So, all that rambling just to say that it's something that I'm thinking about. I think it would be fun. I think it would be a cool way to interact with fans, but I don't know. Haven't made any decisions on whether I'm going to go all in on that or not, but I don't know. Just kind of wanted to throw it out there. I think it's a neat idea, but I don't know. We'll see. I think it could be a lot of fun. It would also give like the podcast is all audio, and even on YouTube, when I put the videos up there, it's just kind of the podcast logo and then the audio to go with it. But this would give me a way to talk to people outside of that podcast medium, and they would have something to watch while I was commentating over it. So just something to think about, maybe something to look forward to in the future. We might have to hop on a stream together, you and me, and play with some folks in some Rocket League, maybe do some tournaments, stream that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think it could be a lot of fun. But it is getting late here now. It's a little past 10 p.m. And I can definitely tell that by the way that I'm rambling. So, I don't know.
We should beat some motherfuckers' asses in Rocket League. Any of you pussies would fucking lose. Anybody who made it 3 minutes into here, fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know your ad and shit like that, but we'll fucking get into that probably next week. I'd say.
Yeah.
Or let you know it now.
League. Yeah, anyone who wants to smoke in Rocket League can come get it. That's it for this episode. Be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. Don't know what the next few episodes are going to look like. Like I said, in a couple of months, we'll have the 1 year anniversary, and we'll have to do something interesting for that. But
you got any guests lined up? Anything at all? Anybody you're fucking looking at?
Trevor Pete, UFC fighter from Tennessee. I want to get him on. I've said it before in a previous episode, but I've yet to reach out to him. So I am going to reach out to him this week. I absolutely will do that, and then we can have invite a fellow Tennessean onto the show.
I've seen some. Shit's starting to. I'm probably about to start picking up in the next few months, like with some fucking candidates, some people announcing some shit. There's one guy. I don't know. There's some guy running. I don't know if he's running as a Republican or an independent, but he's been saying some wild shit on the internet. So I can't think of his name right now, and I'm pretty sure what I'm thinking.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Some shit that I couldn't pronounce. Probably.
Yeah, he is running. He's running for president as a Republican. He has kind of been all over the place. He's been doing different shows. I just saw that he was on Jake Tapper's show, State of the Union. He's been he's a little more right wing than I am, but he'd be an interesting guy to talk to for sure.
Yeah. Who else? I've seen something. There's the guy. I think he might have followed the podcast. Was it Osama something Obama? Fucking, he had a very specific name that was like, some other names that was all combined together.
Oh yeah, I think he was running for like Senate in California, maybe.
I think so.
But his name was something like Barack Obama Mandela or something like that, and I think he did follow the podcast. And of course, I saw all those names put together, and it caught me off guard. But he's a real guy running for Senate in California. I'm looking through my followers right now, though. I think he might have unfollowed me, which, whatever.
Whatever, fuck it,
I don't know. Yeah, like you said, the 2024 cycle is going to kick up before we know it. And, by then there's going to be an ungodly amount of candidates that I can talk to. So yeah, try to keep you guys updated on any new guests that I have coming up in the near future. Like I said, going to reach out to Trevor Peak, see if he'll come on. Yeah, that's all I got. I think that's it for this episode.
All right. Peace out, motherfuckers.